excited to have the opportunity now to share with you guys something that has been rolling in my head for a while, and being able to design these slides and put this concept on paper has been super helpful, and it's also a kind of first run, and really excited to hear feedback on it. But we're going to be talking today about building community-connected brands. We've heard a lot over the summit about brand and content and design and really communicating your brand values, and we're going to just take that a step further and talk about how does brand and community collide and what it means to build a community-connected brand. And so, to start off, what is community? Does anybody have a good definition out there? Group of people, share values, shared likes, connections, symbiosis. I love it. Absolutely. Community is all about connecting with like-minded people or people of different perspectives, but connecting around a shared set of beliefs, a common value system, an exchange of value. I think about community as a way of how can we give back and forth to each other. It's not just one direction, it's a back and forth exchange of value. When we think about brands and community, oftentimes we think about audience, we think about followers, we think, oh, I'm growing my presence online, I'm growing my community. When in reality, a lot of what people talk about community is really audience. If you think about music is a really great example. You have musicians, we'll use Taylor Swift as a good example because Ward's here, and somehow we always end up talking about T Swift on the podcast. So Taylor Swift has built an insane audience through her music, through her concerts, through her live events. She's built this audience of diehards. They follow her everywhere, they listen to her music, they share her music. Her audience isn't necessarily 100% overlap with the community that she's created. She has fans, she has listeners, she has people who listen to her music, but the community of Taylor Swift are the people who not just show up to the concerts, but the people that bring the friendship bracelets and share with each other. The people have conversations outside of directly the concert or directly the music. It's the shared value of that experience, the conversations that her community have with each other, and the reasons that people have come together through her music, through meeting each other at a concert or at an event, that's where community, Taylor Swift's community is formed, in those relationships and those interactions, and that kind of radiating value that the Taylor Swift brand has created. And when we think about community, when we think about brand, we think, I always like to discuss the idea of value. If you are trying to build a brand that has the capacity to leave a legacy, a brand that has the capacity to build something beyond, a quick exchange of services or product or value, something that you want to live on beyond just the products and services that you sell, you really want to think about the value that the brand is creating. And it's value in various tiers, and we're going to get into this pyramid. Bo earlier talked about the brand pyramid. This is my take on a brand pyramid, but slightly different. It's all about this idea of value that a brand creates, value that the brand is building in its primary, its secondary, and its tertiary value. And it's something that really builds on top of each other. That's why we kind of built it. We're Honey House, so built it in kind of this modern, monolithic house structure. But the first part of the value pyramid is this primary value that every business, for the most part, can fit into this primary category. This is the products and services that the brand provides. This is the core thing. You pay money, you get food. You pay money, you get a service. You pay money, you get something in exchange for the dollars that you spend, or the exchange of value between you and the business, the brand. The secondary value is all about experience and knowledge. It's the part of the value pyramid that is attached to experiences, to events, to content that a brand is putting out on social, the things that are sharing that are outside of, a lot of brands have social media, have podcasts, have content. This is what I would categorize as secondary value that the brand is providing. Sometimes it's monetized and kind of blurs the line between primary and secondary, but really the secondary tier is where can your brand, where can the value that you're providing your customers, where can you start to create things outside of that core, when we can use and there's multiple examples after this, but going back to Taylor Swift, her core product and service is her music and the consumption of her music. The secondary value is the experience at her concerts, the joy, the feeling you have when you're there. The concert ticket itself would be primary. It's a product that she sells, but when you're there, that experience, the overall, that's kind of the secondary benefit of consuming her music. And then tertiary value, and I think this, to me, is where community actually lives. And this is where I think someone in here said shared beliefs is where community is aligned on. When people can come together, buy a product, a service, listen to music, go to a concert, and then start connecting with each other because of their love for that music, because of their love for the writing style, the genre of music, the feeling that we get from listening to the music. That's where we can start having this interchange of value coming to this event, and it's the secondary value is the knowledge and content. The tertiary value is now interacting with the people who are here and really being able to have an interchange between each other. And when we think about community, it's really where do we build these first two layers of value so that now one of our customers or one of our community members can now create value for someone else in the community. That's how I think about true community, is when you can provide enough value in your primary and secondary value tiers that now fellow community members in this tertiary space can start creating value and connections and opportunities for each other. So we'll do Honey House as the first example. So we provide content creation, marketing campaigns, and brand strategy. That's the primary value that we provide the businesses that we work with. The secondary value is events like this, the podcasts that we put out, the content that we share on social. That's value that is readily available, that is accessible, that can be consumed, and isn't the core value that we're offering. The tertiary value is the idea that we create together. The relationships, the interactions that you're having here at this event, or that you're creating online with someone else who's commenting on our content, and you connect with that person and you build a relationship. It's that shared belief that we can create together, that we can come together here at the SALT, that we can, after this event, start creating these relationships, these interactions, these opportunities. It's kind of the ripple effect of what your brand is setting the table to have happen. Red Bull is another really great example. Red Bull is one of my favorite brands. I'm a beverage addict, if you will, and Red Bull is a really interesting business because the only product that they truly sell is beverages. They could build 10 businesses on top of their core business right now with merchandising and product, and they only sell as their product beverages. Everything else on top of that, the events, the thing, lead back to beverage sales. Their secondary value is Red Bull TV, which is an incredible platform that they have built that is like every action sport, every random sport, every crazy, they have a separate channel where you can go and consume skateboarding to downhill mountain biking to flutog, where people try to fly out into the ocean on these rickety airplanes that they build. That's all the secondary value. The tertiary value is we can fly. Red Bull gives you wings. People that consume Red Bull, the ideas, the things that people are able to accomplish because of the brand that they've established, the idea that Red Bull gives you wings, the idea that you can do these insane things because they're putting out so much on this secondary value tier, they're showing the world that you can have a lifestyle around mountain biking, around skateboarding, around these wild and crazy action sports, and that the community, there is a shared obsession with doing these crazy feats of strength or these crazy activities, and they now have this insane community all around the world that believes they can fly, that believes that Red Bull gives them wings, that believes and shares with each other videos that Red Bull puts out that talks about different techniques for skateboarding, for mountain biking. All of that is a ripple effect of the brand that Red Bull has created. Lego is another really great example. Their primary product, their primary value that they provide is bricks and minifigs. They sell these products. You can buy them. You can create, the kit, what are those called? The pre-built, designs, or you can go off and build your own. But at the end of the day, the primary value they're providing is their bricks and minifigs. The secondary value is the movies, Lego movie. Shawnee and I watch a lot of Lego Masters, a TV show about becoming a Lego master. They're putting out all of this content to create that secondary value set that ultimately brings people back to their core value, which is selling more bricks, selling more minifigs. The tertiary value is this idea that we can build, we can create, we can take a pre-constructed thing, do all the instructions, build our crazy Harry Potter world, then blow it up and go build whatever we want out of those bricks. And they have an entire worldwide community that is building, that's sharing. Will told me there's a bricks and minifigs store in Gilbert where you can go and exchange your minifigs. They have these classes and trainings and experiences you can have, and that's all because of this idea that they can create a community around their product and their service. Keep Nature Wild. We built a brand really almost on the inverse pyramid, on the idea that community can and should come first. That our product, in a lot of ways, was community, but our true product, we had to make money. Our primary value was we sold tees, stickers, hats, and other outdoor accessories. Everything that we did on top of that, our cleanups, the content that we created, the social media platform we built, we created a ambassador program called the Wild Keepers, who are individuals who go out on their local trails once a month, pick up trash in the name of Keep Nature Wild. There's, I think, now 5,000 or 6,000 people all over the world. Every state has been represented. I think there's 20 to 30 countries outside of the US where we've had these Wild Keepers because we created so much value on the primary. The product was great. People enjoyed being able to wear the product. Yesterday, when my dad and I were coming in here to set up at 6:30 or 7 in the morning, we pulled onto Brown, the First, literally, on to Brown, the first car we see has the Arizona Hiker's Guide decal on the back window. I snapped a photo of it. It was pretty crazy. Because we created so much value in the primary and secondary, the tertiary value was actually not picking up trash and the impact. That was definitely a part of it that created community. But the story that we heard over and over and over again was, I just moved here from Chicago, from wherever. I was looking for a community. I was looking for a place where I could make friends, where I could create relationships in the outdoors, people that believe what I believe about the outdoors, that want to make it accessible and easy for me to get out, but also to do something good. And the value, the community that we created was all centered around this idea of collectively we can make an impact, and the value of, what the community has been able to accomplish, from our wild keepers to the impact to the actual pounds picked up, has been an incredible ripple effect of our focus on building a lasting community and really embedding that into our core values and how we wanted to build this company and how we wanted to provide value. From the very beginning, we set out to always put our customer first, to always provide value first, and that selling was always secondary. And so in a way, we really tried to push down from this kind of tertiary value set as often as we could to move that into primary position and to really deliver on community first. And then that could have that ripple effect of selling more product, of building our brand even further and growing our impact worldwide. So what is the impact of community? I've described a little bit of it, and even more with Keep Nature Wild. So had the opportunity we sold Keep Nature Wild about 2 years ago, had the opportunity from January of this year to Earth Month to help the team build this campaign to Earth Day. In 2018, we set the goal that by 2023, we were going to hit 1 million pounds of trash picked up from the outdoors. We set that intention 5 years ago. We knew that if we continue to build community and continue to push that secondary and tertiary value, that we'd be able to accomplish it. But at the time, I think we'd maybe just passed 100,000 pounds. So we had a big mountain to climb. But we pushed that out, and we started building out this campaign in February of this year, and we were about 150,000 pounds away from this goal that we had set, that even by the end of 2023 we could accomplish, and we saw that there was an opportunity to hit it by Earth Day this year. And so we partnered with All Trails, a massive outdoor platform where you can find trails and hiking, biking trails all around the country. We organized 120 plus cleanups with our community members, all ran and hosted by members of the community. We picked up over 150,000 pounds of trash, and we smashed that 1 million pound goal, which was pretty incredible. Thank you. And really the most exciting thing is that we hit that goal, and that somehow, we at the beginning of the month didn't even know how we were going to host all these cleanups, but because we had focused on delivering value in a way where our community could rally behind the brand, they could come together. We had hundreds of people sign up to host their own cleanups, to help organize in their local community these trash cleanups, and we were able to really leverage that community and provide value to them. We provided trash bags and stickers and a lot of fun things for these events to happen all throughout the country, and for us to reach that 1 million pound goal. So when we think about this value pyramid, and you think about your business, you think about your brand, you think about what you're trying to build, I invite you to really think about what value can you provide outside of your core. You have to have your primary business, you have to make money, you have to be able to generate revenue and grow, but start to think about where can we create that secondary value? Where can we create these things outside of our core product that are really going to bring value to people? And then that can inspire this idea of shared belief. And I want to invite someone in the audience. If you have a business or a brand, we can quickly run through how you could create these values in your business. Does anyone want to? All right, let's do it. Let me grab you a mic. So tell us what your business is.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cassiana, and we have a blind business. We do blinds.
Okay, like in homes and commercial?
Everything. Yeah.
Got it.
Residential, commercial, inside,
Cool.
outside. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a challenge for you, Sean?
Okay. Not even in the slightest. Okay, so the primary value that you provide is what? Blinds?
Blinds.
And shade, right?
Yes,
You block out the sun.
Yeah.
So what's the secondary value? What experience, what knowledge, what are things that blinds do for us?
Energy efficiency, rebates programs with the government or SRP programs. I don't know, what else? A good experience, be
Good
happy
experience.
at the end.
I know that I have 2 toddlers at home that until we put in blackout curtains in their bedrooms would not take naps in the middle of the day because it's so bright here. So when you think about secondary value, think about your primary. It's a blind on a window, it blocks out the sun, it gives privacy, all these things. When you think about the secondary value, that's where you can think about what are the various experiences that people have. What are the reasons they have privacy, of energy efficiency, of being able to put your kids down for a nap. And a way that you can build on that value is sharing that through content. So creating content, sharing with people, not just, hey, here's a picture of what our blinds look like. The secondary value is, here's why you should have blinds in your kids' bedroom that offer blackout, capabilities. Now your kids can take longer naps. They can sleep in longer. They can, get the rest that we all need. And so thinking about all the different reasons that we put blinds in, and then creating content or creating experience or showcasing how that experience is benefiting that person's life. So that's how I would think about the secondary value. Tertiary value. What are shared beliefs that we can have around blinds?
People who have kids or they work nighttime, they want to have blackouts.
Mm-hmm.
Save energy, saving the
Yeah.
energy, having lower electricity bill.
Yeah.
Looking pretty, having everything to match in your home.
Yeah, aesthetics.
Trendy.
Yeah. So I think that's where you can go into, it's kind of that next level of the parent. So you start tracking, okay, parents need it for their kids to go to sleep. Okay, what are the shared beliefs that parents have? Like, we need rest. I want my kids to be able to sleep in, to sleep at night, to, or this other person who's worried about efficiency and about power consumption and all of that. And so the shared belief doesn't have to be one core shared belief, but it can be this idea that we control the sun. We control our environment. We control what we can control. We put blinds in so we can control the privacy that we have. We put blinds in so we can control the light that comes into our house, whether it's for energy efficiency or rest or whatever. And it's that idea that you can live in the desert and still have the control of creating the atmosphere in your home that you want to create. And so it's that idea of that shared belief, that idea that people can now start giving their hacks, their tips of, we use these blinds because they look great. So that's a whole, aesthetic, but they look great and they do this and this. They create more efficiency. They create more blackout. And so thinking about it in that way is just following the path of okay, they needed it. We need blinds. How can I create secondary value? Well, here's content we can share with you. Now, how do you enable people to actually connect with each other? That's where you can start seeding these ideas of value, of beliefs, of that control, or of that creating your own environment, or creating the atmosphere in your home that you want, or in your business, or even here, There's blackout shades, and then there's like semi-blackout.
Light filtering. Yeah.
And we chose to open up all of them to create an atmosphere in this space that will look good on cameras, first and foremost. Will also set the stage for a great experience. And also, if we need to, if the sun's coming in or if it's getting hot, we can adjust. So that shared belief can be that you can now, with a good product, with a good service, you can now control the environment of your home, the environment of your business in a way that is impactful and meaningful to you.
Thank you.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Any questions? Ward.
Okay, so I love what you're building with the pyramid, and I have a question about when you tell the story about this.
Yeah.
So primary, secondary, tertiary, sometimes when I hear tertiary, I think off to the side, or the third most important.
Yep.
And yet the shared beliefs, like when I think about this conference or I think about a brand, I think about the shared beliefs as being the most important, and then the products and services are just an extension off of the belief or the why. And so I'm curious if when you share it, could you flip the pyramid, or you said with Keep Nature Wild it was flipped, and I almost wonder if the why could be the foundation. It's just an idea.
No, as I was building this out and as I started going through these these slides of value, it's like basically it's another way of like figuring out your why, your purpose. Sorry, I lost you behind and so I think there is this, sorry, I've got these animations. It really is like the core of why you should be in business. So it's the thing that will drive, in my opinion, the growth of this more than anything else, is getting clarity on that like third tier, that tertiary value. And so to answer your question is yes, to be designed or to be developed, because I do know, like, it's not that it's in order of importance or in order of value, it's that it's kind of the layering of where you can create that value and how you can create it. And so,
and I love how you did it with Keep Nature Wild. It makes so much sense. Like, why would I want to be involved in that? Well, because I'm involved. I like the greater good, and this is a brand that represents that. I like what Bo was doing as well, where he was basically picking, and they're at the point where they can do that. Pick the projects and products they want to work on based on that value, or based on what the big idea or the why was.
Totally.
Thought it was good, and anyway, I love the work you're doing.
Thank you. Sorry, now I got to click back through. Yeah, I think the big thing is to really ask yourself where you can create that value. Yeah.
Another way that I'm thinking about your first level there, product and services, is that that is the transactional level.
Yep.
That's beyond what the person gets in the transaction. There's not much value. Don't distinguish yourself because there could be so many other products and services that are similar.
Totally.
Your identity does not become clear until you have higher purpose.
Totally. Yeah, so it's kind of, that like leveling up the value you're providing, just thinking about like, yes, you have a core product or service, but how can you make that even more significant or even more valuable than just here's some blinds, or here's a service. It's how can you really layer that on.
Sean, you've started multiple businesses. So businesses that you've kind of started on the products and service first versus like Keep Nature Wild, where you kind of start on the community first, like what has been that experience like? I would guess that it's easier when you start with the community first, or am I wrong? Love your feedback.
I mean, Honey House is a good example. I think it's taken me 2 years to realize that at the core, the way that I enjoy doing business, I had a startup a number of years ago, And that's where I really unlocked this idea that at our core, everyone wants experiences and they want to belong. And that's what makes up a great community. And I feel like in everything that I've done, that has driven the way that I've done business or made decisions or started or tried to grow the business, is like, how can we create a better experience and how can we make more people feel like they belong? And so I don't know that, other than starting an agency and thinking that everything that I'd done up to this point was enough to carry me through getting business and growing business. Took me 2 years of really understanding that to build the way that I know how to build, I need to not only build community, but participate in community. And as I've started to go more events, putting on this event, connecting with businesses in a different way has really been an unlock for actually focusing on this tertiary. We've been doing content, we've been building, but really has been an unlock for kind of this next chapter in the business, for
Cool,
sure.
thanks.
Would you follow this same outline for a company that wants to rebrand their products and services? Or better question is maybe, where would you start with a rebrand rather than starting from scratch, building off of something you already have, but pivoting your products and services?
I mean, I think it starts and ends with value. I think when a rebrand is basically an evolution. I think every brand is constantly evolving, no matter if you're actually going through a design process and like a strategic process of like rebrand. You are always evolving as a business, as a brand. You're finding new ways to attract clients. So when you're doing it in more of a strategic way, I think it's really, and I think what Ward was getting at is starting with what is going to be that tertiary value. Like, what is that thing that you are trying to actually create in a way that makes people want to connect with other people who buy your product or service? Because that's where scale happens, that's where growth happens. You look at the best artists, the best brands, the best creators, is like they've figured out this value pyramid in a way where now it almost like over time it flips. You know, it's like when you can really then get to a point where everything you're doing is in the like tertiary area, and then everything just kind of compounds through secondary and primary, you know, selling the product. So in a rebrand, I would think about, first and foremost, I think it's a mix of what value do you want to create, but also what value are your ideal customers actually looking for in this like shared belief category, and then working backwards from there.
Thank you very much.
Ernest.
This one. I don't have a question. I just wanted to call out that when she said blinds, I was stressing for you, and I was really impressed with how you navigated through that. Like, you created community out of blinds, which is really impressive. That's all.
Thank you. That's right.
So with regards to community, this event,
Yeah.
the SALT community, the speakers that you've had speak, what percentage of these people did you not know 30 days ago?
Maybe 10%.
Okay, I thought it was higher.
Maybe 20. I don't know. A lot, either new or connected through, like Whitney, who painted. I met her a week ago, 2 weeks ago. She decided to come last minute. Arvel, we'd been connected on LinkedIn, but I don't know where and when. But hit him up, said to come out. So kind of a mix. But I mean that's a perfect. Why don't you guys come up and let's just take this opportunity, Mom, Dad. Let's talk about community real quick. Right, this is a surprise guest appearance. So, we're talking about community. I think the ultimate community starts in the home.
You're going to make me cry.
You guys, everywhere you go, create community in the things you do and the people you provide. I mean, this is all, the value that I try to create in everything that I do is a mirror of the value you created in our home with my friends, with that experience, that value. So I want to ask you a couple questions. Why do you guys think that you have embedded community so at the core of how you've built your lives?
I think that,
Yeah, just get it close.
I think that growing up here in Mesa, I am a fourth generation, Sean's fifth. So community was everything back in the day. Mesa was tiny. We knew everyone. I went to school with Michelle, Sean's mother-in-law. And so community was everything. And so when and my mother was the best at it. My mother was a consummate entertainer. She always loved having people in our home and cooking. Our house evolved around food, and food brings community. And so when you kids were growing up, it's like the ball field. If you build it, they'll come. So if I cooked it, they would show up. Ernest was at our house all the time. We had a lot of community, and I loved every minute of it. When Sean went off to BYU and Cassie at the same time, and we were empty nesters, it was awful. It's like, I can't cook for 2 people. I have to cook for 50.
She still
I
can't
can't do
cook for
this.
2
I still
people.
can't. So the neighbors get the leftovers.
Yeah.
So I love, and I'm sure I got it from my mother and my sisters, but and I got it from growing up in a small town, Mesa, where everybody was community and everybody was close and everybody knew everybody. And I just love that you're carrying on that tradition, Christy, all these entrepreneurs that we have created, and I'm so proud of all of you.
Dad, why is community so important to you?
It's easy. It's just always been easy. I'm the crier. I'm sorry, Christy. I embarrass my daughter all the time. It's easy. When we owned Sweet Cakes here on Main Street, for over 10 years we fed the Child Crisis Center. And the community that we built around that, every year, was amazing. I loved feeding these kids. We'd feed 100 people every Thanksgiving, and it was something that I cherish because we don't do it anymore. Thanksgiving used to be my favorite day of the year. I don't have a favorite day anymore. But we just loved it, and it was easy.
What would you say to people who are trying to facilitate community outside of maybe a business sense that is like the one thing that you believe helps build community?
I think they have to feel loved. They have to feel not judged. They have to, because we had certainly all kinds of people that came to our restaurant. And my passion, I guess, was providing great food, but a great experience. And I made sure that every customer left happy and fulfilled. And if somebody had a complaint, which was rare, then I made sure I made it whole, whether I reimbursed them or gave them extra. I made sure, and we built such a community from that restaurant that we had people that came 3 and 4 times a week. I ended up going to a lot of funerals from our regulars that came so many years. We had it 16 years. And so I think if you interact with people and make them feel important and loved, I think that's huge. You have to make them feel important. You have to give a quality product, but mostly you have to make them feel important and valued.
Where do you think community can impact on a like family lifestyle sense?
You mean within it? Within a family?
Yeah.
Well, I think that when you have a lot of children and then you have a lot of in-laws that all have different personalities, and trying to mesh these personalities, I think it's so important to make them feel important and loved. And everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. Certainly I have a lot of weaknesses. And so I think that in a family unit that it's so important to try to not judge, to love, and to be accepting, and to listen to ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And
Dad, what's your last one takeaway around value and building community?
I think that if you can learn how to do it, this event, I have not been to an event like this in a long time where people share ideas. And so as I've watched each of you interact with one another, the immediate relationships that you guys are doing, the meetings that you've already planned, the appointments that you've set with one another, you've done some things that have really made this event something really special for Sean. This is, I agree that, the next time he has this event in March, right, that these seats will be full. And I think that it really comes down to when you guys leave, you'll talk about it and you'll share it. And then if Sean ever gets the videos put together, you can share those.
That's why I got an A+ team.
That's right.
It'll get done.
So it'll get done. People have already reached out to me because I'm a social media freak. I love Facebook because of the friends that I have. So I've posted things. Our nephew wants to buy a Zenny home already. That's from this morning. So when you post real things that people can identify with, I think it's really important that all of you, when you leave here, make sure that you participate in your communities and in your businesses and with one another with this SALT community.
Awesome. Thank you.